In this video, I'll show you how to add an event registration form to your Wix website. So your customers can come in here, they can of course sign up. This is just an example and you can completely customize this. But in this, they can select their country, their date of birth, their t-shirt size for the event, fill in emergency contact information, and then down here, they can go ahead and register. Now, if you are setting up a paid event, we can change this button to be a pay button that's going to take them through to PayPal or some other payment processor that you would like to use. And I'll show you exactly how to set this up in this video. The first thing that we need to do is open up Elfsight. This is the tool that we will be using to build the widget, and I've linked it in the description below. Go ahead and click on that link and it will take you straight over to this page. This link also ensures that everything connects properly when we embed it. From here, just enter your email into this box to sign up for free, and then on this next page, create your password. Just like that, we are signed up and ready to go. Okay, so once we are signed up to Elfsight, in order to create an event registration form, the widget that we are looking for is called the Form Builder. So the easiest way to find this is just to come up to Search Widgets in this top right corner and search for Form. And right here, we have the Form Builder. So we can go ahead and we can click into this. And it's now going to ask us to choose a template. And there's a lot of templates within this Form Builder. The one that we are looking for though is of course going to be the event registration form. So if we just scroll down to categories, we can scroll all the way down here to registration forms. We can click into this. And then the one that we are looking for is right here. We have the event registration form. So we can go ahead and click into this, and this template is now going to be selected. So we can go down and click continue with this template. In this area, this is now where we can fill out the registration form with all of the different fields that we want to add in. So any fields that you see in here that you don't want to collect, you can just go down, for example, t-shirt size. We can click in, we can delete this, and this is now going to be deleted. Now, any fields that you would like to add in, we just need to go to add field right here, and then we can add in any of these fields. So we have like a time, a date field, a phone number, an email field, a short and long text. These are fantastic. So this is for example, a first and last name. This would be a short text. A long text would be if they need to write more than one sentence, then we would use the long text here. But we have drop downs, star scales, paragraphs, choices, image choices. So you can add all of these in right here. And you might even want to play around with these, see which ones work better for which information you want to collect. But we can add all of these in, and then all we do is add a label, which is this right here, add a placeholder, which shows up inside of the box. We can choose if this is a required field. We can choose if the column width is half, like these right here, or full, like these right here. And that is how we can go through and build out this form. Now, once we've built this out and added all of the different fields that we need, we can come down a little bit further on this build form section, and we can start editing things like the header. So with the header, we can click in and we can change what this is going to say. So right now this says event registration form, but for example, let's say that this is for a wedding. We can change this to say Riley and Ellie's wedding registration form. Then we can go into the caption right here. We can fill this out as well with whatever you would like to fill out. And then down here with the cover image and logo, you can add these if you want that extra level of professionalism. So that is the header. Then we have the submit button here at the bottom. We can essentially just click in and we can change what this is going to say to fit your event better. We can also add a footer. Now, I never really use this, but if you would like to add like terms and conditions down here, this is just going to show up underneath the form at the bottom. So you can turn that on or off. And then finally, we have a success message. So once somebody fills this out and they click on register, you can see we have this success message that is going to appear. So we can go in and change this. We can edit the title. We can edit the text. We can choose if there is a close button or not. We can choose what the button text says. I just click back through right here. And once we have filled that out, that is the build form section. We can then move down to the email, and in here, Elfsight is going to send you an email notification every time somebody fills this out with all of the information they put in here. This is of course necessary because you need to know who's attending your event. Now by default, Elfsight are going to send this to the email address that you signed up to Elfsight with. Now if you would like to receive this to a different email, you can click into here and then we can see it too. We can delete the email that is already here or we can add a new email that you would like to receive all of this information to. Down here in this area, don't touch this, very important because Elfsight have set this up to give you all of the information that people fill out. So leave this as it is. We can then go down to the layout, and in here we can choose if this is like a floating pane at the side that people can click here and they can open this up. But I would recommend sticking to inline, and then we can just embed this in a certain section of the website. Another thing that you don't want to play around with is the form width or the form layout either, because that's just going to mess up the dimensions. We can then go over to the appearance, and we can choose if we have a light or dark website. We can add in things like the accent color, and you can see this changing at the bottom. We can play around with how the different fields actually look. I think this one looks fantastic though. We can change the font. So by default with this, when we actually add this to our Wix website, it's going to take the font that we are using on Wix, and it's going to drop this into our form right here. However, you can also go ahead and you can change this to any of these other fonts if you would like to. Now, in Customize Elements, this is where we can really play around with the colors if you have like a specific colored website, and you can get this to fit your website. So we can click into the background, we can change the main background color that we are using. We can also go in here and we can change like the header title color up here, the caption color, the links color, the font size. So I would recommend, if you want to, just play around in this area, changing all of the colors and the fonts and making this look how you would like it to look. Then we can go down to settings, and we can choose what happens when somebody clicks on register. Are we going to show the success message that we created earlier, redirect them to a certain URL? So this might be like a ticket page or something. Then we can go down to settings, and in here, this is where we are going to set up if you would like to add this as a paid event. So if you would like to add this as a paid event, we can click into this post submit action button, and instead of showing a success message, what we are going to do is redirect to a URL, and this is where we can redirect them to our PayPal link, to some other payment processor where we have this set up, and we can make this so when people click on this, they can go through and they can then buy the tickets. All of these you don't really need to fill out either, and then for the integrations, if you have any other tools that you would like to integrate with this, you can set this up right here. Now, once we have this all set up and created, and we now want to add this to Wix, we just want to go up to this publish button right here and click on this. And then Elfsight will take us over to the screen where we can now choose a plan. Now, the plan I recommend choosing is this free plan right here, because this allows us to put this on our website for free. And then later down the line, if you want to go ahead and upgrade to one of these paid plans for more Elfsight widgets or more monthly website views, you can do this at any time. But for now, just select the free plan. And once that is selected, Elfsight is then going to give us this piece of code that's going to allow us to embed the form that we just created onto our Wix website. So all we need to do is click on copy code, and then we can go over to the Wix editor right here. Inside of the editor, we just want to go down to find the section on where we want to add this. So I'm going to add mine right here, just above this as featured in. So what we want to do is we just want to add a section where we want to add the event registration form in. So we can click on add section. And then inside of this new section, we want to click on add elements right here. Then the element that we want to add, we just go down to embed code, and right here where it says embed HTML, we can add this in. And once this appears, we just want to make sure that this is selected to code. And then we can click into this code box and paste in the code that we just copied. Then we can click right here on update. And just like that, our registration form is now added. So we can stretch this out and make sure that this is all fully visible. We can add this to both sides. Looks like this section needs to be a little bit longer. So let's bring this down more, maybe a little bit more, just like this. And perfect. We can add that right there, bring that back up. And just like that, we now have our registration form added to our Wix website.